we puff, then we blow the house down.
All right, Peter, thanks a lot. We do have pageantry on the Plains today. Auburn, final home game of the season. Nova, officially named War Eagle 7, has made his appearance in Jordan-Hare Stadium for Senior Day. 16 Auburn Tigers playing the final home game of their career, including Ryan Davis, who last week set the all-time receptions record here at Auburn University. On this Saturday afternoon on the Plains, it's the Liberty Flames, an independent, and the Auburn Tigers out of the SEC. Good Saturday afternoon and welcome to Auburn, Alabama. Alongside former Georgia quarterback Hudson Mason, I'm Richard Cross. We'll check in with Taylor Davis coming up in just a few minutes. This is one of those days, Hudson, where you look around the country and there are a lot of coaches that are worried about focus. This Auburn team a week ago, they played Georgia in the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Next week, it's that game they call the Iron Bowl. Gus Malzahn wants his team to be focused today, though. Yeah, and Gus made it very clear, Coach Malzahn made it very clear to us this week that after he showed his team the tape of the Virginia game, they're not taking this team lightly. So today is all about Auburn for me. Tackle better, complete passes, take care of the football, and try to play a complete game in all three phases and create some momentum heading into the Iron Bowl. Last Saturday was a record-setting Saturday for Auburn, and particularly for Ryan Davis. He needed 2 catches to pass Courtney Taylor on the all-time receptions list. He finished with 13 against Georgia, so no drama. And also Jarrett Stidham and Ryan Davis became the most prolific passing duo in school history. Yeah, and quarterbacks are always taught, when in doubt, find a check down, find a back, good things will happen. And that's the same thing that Jarrett Stidham has taken to find Ryan Davis. Good things happen when you find Ryan Davis. It's a testament to the chemistry, the trust factor that they've spent all off season. Thousands of reps, staying after practice, throwing, working in the film room. That's a lot of chemistry that's built up. You can tell that these guys care about the product that they put on the field, and they care about Auburn football. Gus Malzahn, head coach of the Auburn Tigers, 6th season, 51 wins, 26 losses. His team won the SEC West a year ago. Next week it is Alabama in the Iron Bowl, but on this Saturday it is the Liberty Flames underway. Auburn in blue, Liberty in white. That one will go 5 yards deep into the end zone. Let's check in on the field with Taylor Davis.
Yeah, guys, for 16 Auburn Tigers, this will be the last time they play in Jordan-Hare Stadium. I spoke with senior leaders Deshaun Davis and Ryan Davis, and both said today means everything to them. They said they would make sure to take some time and really soak in the atmosphere one last time. But they also said, listen, we have not had the season we expected of ourselves, but we still have the opportunity to go out on a high note, guys. They want to make a mark both today and next week when they face the Tide.
All right, Taylor, thanks a lot. Stephen Calvert. Nobody calls him Stephen, though. He is Buckshot Calvert, the quarterback for Liberty, out of the shotgun. And already a whistle.
Play game. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So it will be 1st and 15 for Liberty as Buckshot Calvert, the quarterback, junior from Plantation, Florida, nearly 8,000 career passing yards. Oh, goodness. Liberty took a timeout.
Welcome to the big show.
Their first play of the game. Turner Gill did not want to give up that 5 yards. Turner Gill, in his 7th season as the head coach at Liberty, 45 wins. He's got 13 years overall as a head coach at the Division I level. And this is a transition year for Liberty, making the move from FCS to FBS. They are competing as an independent. They actually are eligible for a bowl game, but it will take a pretty big finish. The Lynchburg, Virginia home, established in 1971. The 15,000 students are on campus. 110,000 the enrollment when you include the online program.
Yeah, it was pretty clear when Coach Gill took the job here at Liberty. Administration told him, we want you to be the coach in the transitional phase from FCS to FBS.
All right, so now Liberty will run its first play of the game. Frankie Hickson on the right hip. He releases. Calvert Completes his first pass of the afternoon to Antonio Gandy Golden. Gandy Golden, the junior from Dallas, Georgia, on the Biletnikoff watch list.
Well, you're going up against one of the best 4 pass rushers in all of football. So what do you do first play? Get your quarterback settled in, playing in a new environment. I like the call. I like the sprint out action. Stay ahead of the chains on first down.
This time it's a handoff out across the 30. A couple of yards on the carry for Frankie Hickson. Derek Brown on the tackle. So Deshaun Davis in the mix.
So this is a tempo-based offense from Liberty. They're going to push plays, try to snap it, get 70, 80 plays a game. But this isn't a team that runs the ball to say we're balanced. They run the ball because they're good. Over 200 yards last week against a Virginia team. You're going to see them. They'll push tempo. They'll do some of their speed stuff to get in, keep Auburn off balance. But they run the football very well.
3rd and 4. That's Gandy Golden in motion. Albert's got some room. He fires it to Gandy Golden. Spins his way across the 35 for a first down. Couple of passes and a run to start the ball game. Turner Gill wants his team to go fast and had no real plans to maybe try and slow things down because of the opponent. He said, we're going to do what we do. And this time they run it. Not much there. The Auburn defense has been good against the run. They're giving up 151 yards per game this season. Marlon Davidson, 3rd-year starter, makes the tackle of Hickson.
We talked to both coordinators, both coaches during the week. Turner Gill told us that the sweet spot for this offense is yards per carry. There's a lot of empty statistics in college football. The one that carries the most weight to both coaches on both sides of the ball is yards per carry. Liberty averaging over 4 yards a pop. Coach Gill believes that that is a statistic that has to stay true if they're going to have a shot today.
Another handoff on 2nd and 10 out across the 40. Gain of nearly 5. It brings up a manageable 3rd down.
It's funny because Coach Steele meeting with him this week. We talked about, Coach, you know, you're ranked top 20 in points per game. Your defense really good in 3rd down. I said, does statistics really matter to you? He goes, 2 stats matter. Final score and if we win the ball game. But he did say yards per carry. So both coaches on both sides of the ball echoing the importance of yards per carry.
3rd and 5 here. Peyton Pickett in for the first time today.
We know Gandy Golden, right? The big-time, big slot receiver. He's been their 3rd down charm for Calvert.
Calvert throws it across the 45. That's another first down. This time on the reception, it's DJ Stubbs. That's his 45th catch of the year. Javaris Davis in coverage.
Yeah, the 5'9", 185-pound sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. Kind of gets, doesn't get a lot of pub. Kind of gets outshined by Antonio Gandy Golden, who's over 100 yards today. Will become back-to-back 1,000-yard receptions, but he's a 2nd down reliable target for him.
Pickett on the carry, maybe a yard. Couple of converted 3rd downs on this drive for Liberty. Here's 2nd and 8. Play action. Slant has been good to Liberty early in this ball game. B.J. Farrow for a catch of 9.
No, and there's that one-on-one matchup right there. And that's not even your go-to receiver in Gandy Golden. We saw him 3rd down earlier in the game. The tight contested windows. You're going up against an SEC team. Right, you want to prove to NFL scouts you can win in man coverage like we saw earlier on 3rd down for Gandy Golden. And then right there, tight contested windows, got to be able to get off the ball and win at the receiver position.
A week ago, Liberty scored on its opening possession against Virginia in Charlottesville. This the 9th play of the drive. They are into Auburn territory with a first down. Pickett runs it to the 40. 2-yard gain on the play there for Peyton Pickett. He's a redshirt sophomore out of Arlington, Texas.
You're going to see some of these 2-3 yard runs You can't get away from that against Auburn. You got to stay as balanced as possible. So you got to stay committed if you're Liberty to those small gains because they'll pay off in the third and fourth quarter.
Again, Pickett this time trying to go wide. And it's a positive game that will bring up another third down.
There it is. You see it. First down, run the ball. Second down, commitment to run the football again. I don't think Liberty's backing down. Again, we said it last week against Virginia. Averaged 4.5 yards per pop, per carry. Went for 200 yards in total rushing. Liberty is not afraid of this front four. They know what they're good at, and that's running the football.
43% on third downs. They're 2 for 2 to start the game today.
So third downs already in this drive has been big. Identify where Gandy Golden is. He's at the top of your screen, number 11 in man coverage.
11th play of the drive. Calvert this time tries to float one, and there's nothing there. So the first opportunity here, you're kind of in no man's land. Are you going to try and punt it, maybe pin Auburn deep, or do you say, look, we get across the 50, we're going for it on fourth down?
So to me here, you either have a gadget pump play with a quarterback, a squib kick, because I don't really think they believe in Pert. Aaron Pert, their kicker, who's kind of their backup. Alex Probert's been hurt. I expect them to go for it here.
Fourth down for Liberty. Flames are 11 of 19 on fourth down tries on the season.
This is where you see a lot of man rub action on third and medium.
Fourth and 4, they flip it out. A little bit of room. Can Pickett make a man miss? No, he's dropped short of the mark to gain, and Auburn will stop Liberty on fourth down. No score on the Plains.
You can do this. Here we go.
Discover.
Hi, I like your card. I love all the cashback and security features, but I'm not going to pay an annual fee. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Discover has no annual fee on any of our cards.
So it wasn't my tough guy act.
No, we just don't have any annual fees.
That's a relief. I've been working on that for a long time. If we had talked a month ago, that would have been a whole different call.
I can imagine.
Excuse me, sir. Can I please have no annual fee?
No annual fee on any card, only from Discover.
Have you seen some keys? Oh, thanks, sir.
Drive of the game, Liberty marched it into Auburn territory, but could not convert on fourth down. You look at Auburn under Gus Malzahn, you expect them to be a power-running football team, but this year, their rush attempts per game, nearly 10 off of what they did a season ago.
Yeah, they've always been a run-heavy team under Gus. They try to play tempo, try to push tempo. But that number you're seeing right there, the drop-off, they're averaging 20 the last two games. Is number one, Texas A&M. They were playing from behind, had to throw the ball a lot. But more importantly, the theme over the season has been very unproductive on first down.
Jarrett Stidham leads Auburn's offense out onto the field. And it's a handoff to start the ball game. It's some room up the middle for Cam Martin. 13-yard gain for Cam Martin, and this may be a day where you see a lot of that from Auburn.
Yeah, I think they want to get, obviously Jartavius Whitlow is a big part of the game, Sean Shivers, but Cam Martin, who hasn't got a lot of carries lately, rotate all three of these guys in there.
Stidham this time wants to throw. He's got a man, and that is a completion. Seth Williams on the catch. That's his 20th catch of the season.
You can see when they pick up chunk yardage on first down, man, they really start to get into a rhythm.
Sling pass. Chandler Cox out of the backfield. Isaac Steele brings him down after a gain of 4. Auburn will change the play.
So I don't know if you saw the left guard pat his butt. You see it again right there. That to me tells me it's a run play because he's communicating to the running back. Play action.
Stidham lets this one fly. Kind of double clutched. So he was letting that one go.
Sorry, what you'll see a lot out of guards, and he obviously got me there, but that's good because defenses, when a guard pats his butt, you're telling the backs behind you, hey, we're going to double up to the secondary of the defense. But if you're always pat your butt and it's always a run, that becomes predictable. So you see the guard pat his butt, and then the play action keeps the defense, keeps them balanced, but keeps defensive coordinators balanced too.
3rd and 7 here. Again, Stidham wants to throw and throws it into the ground, trying to set up a screen that time to Darius Slayton. And Auburn, after 2 big chunk plays to start the drive, a 13-yard run and a pass down the field to Seth Williams, will bring the kicking unit onto the field.
There's the sore spot of every Auburn fan when you talk about 3rd down and some of the deficiencies and issues that this Auburn offense has had. Gus Malzahn said it this week. That's definitely our Achilles heel. 35%, which is 13th. That's the 2nd worst in the conference. It's a reason why they haven't snapped as many balls this year.
53-yard field goal try coming for Anders Carlson. Right down the middle. 13th made field goal of the year for Carlson, and Auburn strikes first.
Morning. Welcome to Mitsubishi. Interested in a test drive?
Yeah.
Sure. Can you check out the stereo?
Introducing the 2019 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. If you like sculpted lines, you'll love its dynamic design. In a world of asphalt, gravel, and snow, Super All-Wheel Control will save the day. With a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, the Eclipse Cross is a must-see. Now showing at a dealership near you.
What? Test drive a new crossover at your local Mitsubishi dealer.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
SEC Network Football is brought to you by the official drink of Fansville, Dr. Pepper. Available at Dollar General.
One of the great traditions in all of college football, about 15 minutes before kickoff. The Eagle circles around the stadium, makes that landing on the big AU at the 50-yard line. Great setting for college football here on the Plains. Auburn with an early 3-0 lead, a 53-yard field goal for Anders Carlson. And the Tigers strike first. These offenses with a little success on their first drive. Kicked away and will not be returnable. Coming up next on the SEC Network, college football continues with Ole Miss and Vanderbilt in the SEC Saturday night matchup. And on the SEC Network alternate channel, it's Chattanooga and South Carolina. To find those alternate channel listings in your area, go to secnetwork.com/channel. Plus, both games are available live on the ESPN app.
Good first down for Liberty. Converted some 3rd downs, ran the ball, stayed balanced. I think that's what you're going to see again out of this drive.
Empty backfield. Culver wants to throw. Woo! Crunch at the 30-yard line. Pass that time intended for B.J. Farrow.
So I thought it would be interesting coming into this game. Gandy Gold, number 11. How does Auburn decide to, and who do they decide to match up with him? Is it Noah Igbenogany or is it going to be Jamel Dean, the Ohio State transfer? Auburn loves to play man-to-man coverage. I know Liberty's got one good receiver. Can the other guy step up?
Fake to Hickson. There's an interception. And Auburn trying to come up with a defensive score into the end zone. Darrell Williams, a 26-yard return for the touchdown. Darrell Williams, the senior from Hoover, Alabama. First interception of the season. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Week in the opening game of the year. A win that Auburn had against Washington.
You'll see here number 49, Darrell Williams. Kind of gets lost in some of the underneath trash, and Calvert just doesn't recognize him. They're trying to throw the inside slant route to the slot, and sometimes you just lose the middle linebacker, and it's a pick six. You can see Gus right there. What's better for a struggling offense than when your defense helps them out and scores points?
On a defense that gave up a 12-play drive on the first possession that Liberty had, they ended up turning it over on downs. So you think about the last 3 plays for Auburn defensively. They get a 4th down stop on the opening drive. Big hit on a quick pass out to the near side, and then a 26-yard touchdown return from Darrell Williams.
That's an impressive catch for a linebacker, man. You know what they say, linebackers don't have the best hands in the whole world, but to catch that ball coming off Calvert's hands like that close, got a little juice on it, it's impressive.
And a beeline to the corner of the end zone. Auburn now leading 10-0 over Liberty. For the 3rd time today, Carlson and again deep in the end zone. Boy, he's got a big leg. 3 touchbacks, 53-yard field goal already. It's been a busy start to the game for Anders Carlson.
Yeah, you can look at this again. Here's Williams right here at the linebacker position. And the quarterback, Calvert, wants to throw that inside slot slant. And he just loses Darrell. That's a tough, you kind of got to just chalk that one up to, hey, man, that's a heck of a play. Most of the time you see those linebackers when it's almost like they're fake blitzing. The play action kind of gets them to step up. Again, I think the most impressive part is that he caught the ball and then ran it back for a touchdown.
And a lot of time, Hudson, that's a play where you'll see a linebacker bat it down.
Yeah.
He's able to
maybe
snatch
the DB behind him ends up picking it.
Frankie Hickson powers forward. The junior from Lynchburg, Virginia. That's where Liberty is located. It's kind of a fake and dangerous pass that time from Calvert. Kind of hesitated. He was waiting for the slant to try to open up.
Auburn has counteracted with Jamel Dean out there on Gandy Golden. I was intrigued coming in because Gandy Golden is a junior. He's coming back with, or trying to achieve back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He needs 118 yards to accomplish that today, but how was Auburn going to counteract? What DB were they going to put on him? If you're Gandy Golden, you want to show the scouts today, I can play against the best competition up against the best DBs.
Buckshot Calvert started this game 4 for 4. He has missed on his last 4 attempts.
You see 3rd and 7 here. He's trying to get the protection right with this lethal 4-down package for Auburn.
Play clock running down, pressure coming, it is blown up. That's an incomplete pass.
Kind of surprised here that they get an empty coverage. They're trying to run a jailbreak screen on 3rd and long, catch Auburn in an all-out blitz. Hopefully you get a gash play, but it's a good job of Auburn's defensive line. They rush the passer. Yeah, they're really good at that. They stop the run. But all 4 of those guys up there, Nick Coe's out today, but the other 3, those are NFL Sunday players. They play with great instincts like that play.
And nothing like a 278-pound defensive end dropping back into coverage and handling it just fine. There's a block kick. It's going to roll out of the back of the end zone for a safety. And Auburn is right now firing on all cylinders.
Jordan Peters, number 15, that got in there.
That's his 3rd blocked punt of the season.
Man.
The sophomore from Muscle Shoals. It will be Auburn football when we come back. Tigers leading at 12-0.
You wore number 7. He wore number 7. He even used digital check-in to pick room 107. And somehow they still lost. Guess by how many? For the best price guaranteed, book at Hampton.com. Hampton by Hilton.
Benny has had a rough life. He was raised by wolves that were hired by his parents. One of his moles tried to have him removed. When his grandmother died, he inherited her incontinence. Santa only watches him when he's sleeping. But Benny feels like a champion because he's eating tasty, protein-powered, wonderful pistachios. And you feel better about your snacks. You feel better about yourself. Olga mailed herself back to Russia. No one is coming.
12 points in the last 55 seconds. They lead 12-0 over the Liberty Flames. Final home game. Senior day, a trip to Tuscaloosa on the horizon. Turner Gill will be disappointed after seeing his offense with a good opening drive. Really has not had things go well. So free kick here from the 20-yard line. Auburn should have good field position. Whip kick will be taken by the upback, Chandler Cox. Cox across midfield.
You can see here Jordan Peters. I'm going to circle him for you right here. All right? It's pretty easy when you line up and you run from the get-go and nobody on the opposing team ever touches you. That's a misalignment by Liberty. They got 3 guys on the shield for 4 Auburn players. 3 block punts, man, for Jordan Peters. Job well done.
Auburn starting this drive at Liberty's 49-yard line. Stidham sees some room up the middle. He'll scramble for a couple.
There's a part of Stidham's game right there, okay? So he's going through his progression, and he's caught a lot of flack this year, and that's kind of the responsibility of the quarterback. But nobody's open. He wanted to throw the dig route over the middle. He went to a second progression. He was covered. You got 2.5, 3 yards. That's a positive play. We talked about being unproductive on first down. That's being productive.
Ryan Davis down to the 39. Brought down by Solomon Ajayi after an 8-yard gain. Ajayi is the younger brother of Jay Ajayi. Had a great college career at Boise State. Now with the Philadelphia Eagles. Drop snap that time. And a loss of 3 for Auburn.
You can see how Liberty is struggling right now to play and match the tempo of Auburn. And if you live down here on the Plains or you're an Auburn's fan, that's something that you've probably been griping about all season. And they understand that. They haven't had the tempo that they've wanted to play with this year. Haven't even snapped the ball as many times as they wanted to this year, averaging 66 snaps. But that's something that Liberty has got to figure out how to counteract with. Don't sub, line up, get your base stuff, and just let your guys naturally react and play.
Now, frustrating finish to that drive for Auburn. They were moving it along, had 3rd and short, dropped snap, and they have to punt it away. And it's going to be a touchback. Ball goes into the end zone. So 1 week remaining after we finish up the games on this Saturday. Alabama has already punched its ticket to the SEC championship game. They will meet Georgia on December 1st. Rest of the West, LSU at 5-2, A&M first year for Jimbo Fisher at 4-3. You see Auburn, they'll have a chance to get to 500 when they go to Tuscaloosa next week. Mississippi State, big winner today over Arkansas. Ole Miss meets Vanderbilt tonight, trying to get their 2nd SEC win in year 2 of Matt Luke. And a tough first season for Chad Morris and the Arkansas Razorbacks. 0-7 in league play. Opening up the middle and a positive first down play for Frankie Hickson. I beg your pardon, Peyton Pickett on the carry.
Peyton Pickett, you're going to see both these running backs, number 23 Frankie Hickson, number 25 Peyton Pickett. Liberty loves to play 21 personnel, meaning 2 backs, 1 tight end. They feel like both these running backs can catch, they can run, and they can block.
No tight ends on this play, and good coverage there. Auburn's Jamel Dean in coverage.
Auburn right now in the secondary with Jamel Dean and Igbenogany is just eating up these Liberty receivers. I think that's the biggest difference in FCS to FBS is can your guys at the receiver and skill position get off the ball, get off the line of scrimmage. So you got 3rd and about 7 again here. Auburn looking like they're playing 2 high safety. You can see Liberty again trying to get into the perfect play. Calvert communicating the protection to the line of scrimmage. This is what you call check with me. Check with the coach on the sideline to get into the perfect play.
There's a play clock. That's going to be a delay of game. No, a timeout taken again by Liberty. They've just burned their second timeout of the first half.
Second charge timeout.
They'll take it with them. Auburn leading 12-0.
Rated M for mature.
You don't know anything about fear. You are just like me.
Let's see about that. They want to bring the thunder. Let's bring it.
Just Cause 4, available now.
It's gonna be really fun. You're gonna love it.
Critics are blown away.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Into the Spider-Verse is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
This is amazing.
USA Today says it's the year's best movie.
We got that in common.
That's one thing.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, December 14th, rated PG.
Third down play coming up for Liberty. Let's check in with Taylor Davis. TD?
Yeah, guys, earlier this week when we met with defensive coordinator Kevin Steele, we asked him if the approach would be any different with this opponent. He said, when we play football, we are in the car and the pedal is to the metal. He did not want any less intensity out of his defense, and I am seeing that here on the sidelines. These guys are excited, they're encouraging one another, and it's translating to the field.
Didn't want Alabama questions either, did he?
No, he was certainly locked in on Liberty.
Process.
Third and 6, and that one's knocked away.
Man, that feels like the fourth time that Liberty and third and long has tried to squeeze in a slant route there again versus tight press coverage. And, even if the receiver catches the ball there, he's going to be tackled short of the stick. So, it's a tough world to live in against this front four that is very disruptive of Auburn, but secondary guys that can play good, tight man-to-man coverage also.
It's really been about the only route that Auburn has thrown in this game is the slant route. Good punt. Taken at the 31. A flag comes in. Ryan Davis on the return. Our referee today, Jason Autry.
Daring to kick, holding, return team, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, first down Auburn.
A couple of big plays in this game already for Auburn. It started with a big defensive play.
Yeah, the pick six here by Williams at the line of scrimmage. Great reactionary skills, takes it to the house. That's always great for a defensive guy. And then the special teams theme this year for Auburn continues with the block punt there by Jordan Peters. Defense and special teams. That's an old SEC recipe for success right there.
Auburn's last drive stalled out after on third down. Jarrett Stidham dropped the snap.
I'll start to take a shot here early.
Pass is bobbled and dropped. Slayton couldn't haul it in. Malik Matthews in coverage that time.
Explosive plays have been a big talk, and they haven't been great. Last year, 10 plays over 50 yards. This year for Jarrett Stidham's offense, only 4. I thought maybe early in the drive there on a first or second down, we'd see if they could probably try to cut the field in half with an explosive play.
Cam Martin still on his feet out to the 34, maybe the 35. Jeremy Peters brings him down. A couple of big runs for Cam Martin. Came in with 3.5 yards per carry, the average. Here's Ryan Davis. That'll move the chains for Auburn out to the 46.
Yeah, that's an old, just RPO right there, run pass option. The guard tackle are pulling. But Stidham sees the safety playing 10 yards off the slot receiver. That's pitch and catch all day.
And Martin across midfield.
I think it's so fun to watch Auburn and kind of the chess match that goes on with them offensively and defenses. Are they going to substitute to stay in their tempo. That slows you down. You want to stay in your base packages and your personnel groups.
Wide open across the middle, Seth Williams. 19-yard gain. Isaac Steele brings him down, and Auburn has it down to the Liberty 30. Trying to add to a 12-0 lead.
To snap the ball, you get free 5 yards.
Quickly again out to Davis. Tries to get to the inside, and we'll pick up 4.
Saw big number 34, Devin Pearson, running off the field there for Liberty. I don't see any yellow flags on the field. Maybe, oh, there we are. It's thrown way back there. It's hard to spot that little yellow thing all the way from up here, man.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players on the field during the play. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
He was trying to get off the field.
Gus loves that, doesn't he? I mean, we talked to him about that this week, Coach. Substitution, tempo. I mean, that was Aaron Rodgers' right there Thursday night. They do that little muddle huddle, and defense wants to substitute, counteract, one word, get to the line of scrimmage, free 5 yards, free play.
So now 1st and 5 for Auburn from the 25. Cam Martin back in after a couple of snaps for Sean Shivers.
You see the quick little muddle huddle here. Jared, one word, one play. They're going to break the huddle quick, get lined up. Wildcat.
Louis Whitlow into the game for the first time today, and Whitlow trucks a man down to the 10.
This is where Auburn's so good. Quick muddle huddle, unbalanced formations, Wildcat, just pull the ball. Last week it was that formation, Whitlow rolling out to his non-dominant side with a pass touchdown. This week using him with his legs.
Auburn clicking along at 85% this year in the red zone. 35 of 41, but only 25 touchdowns.
See backup quarterback Malik Willis in there. Jared Stidham comes out. So you got Cox, the tight end fullback. You got Malik Willis. 2 running backs in the game.
Shivers comes into the backfield and takes the handoff and carries it inside the 5.
Probably a little surprised, Richard, this year that we haven't seen a lot of that. I know there's big talks over at Georgia with their talented freshman quarterback. When you have red zone issues, everybody's going to critique and analyze, say you could do this differently. But Malik Willis, when you got a quarterback back there, especially in the red zone, one other guy on the defense side of the ball has to honor the threat of him pulling it and running it.
Willis stays in. Hands it off, and on 3rd and short, 3rd and goal, Liberty comes up with a stop. Big tackle there.
I think you got to take the points here if you're Gus. You've had a lot of momentum, defensive pick. You obviously haven't scored yet on offense. And I think that's what Gus is telling Malik right now. You should have pulled the ball. It's the wrong read. It's kind of what comes when you get a guy in there as a quarterback who's only taken, at least 3 throws, but not a lot of snaps, not a lot of game live reps this year for Malik.
Liberty just took its 3rd and final timeout.
Liberty, 3rd and final timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
I think maybe again having substitution issues as Carlson gets set for his 2nd field goal try of the game. Gus Malzahn really frustrated, looks like, after not making the right read. You see in their 3 wins in league play, they're scoring 31 points and have got 7 rushing touchdowns, and then turnovers really tell the story. Just 16 points in their 4 losses in league play, only 3 rushing touchdowns. This is an offense that is predicated on a good running game, a powerful running game.
It is.
They haven't had that consistently this year.
They haven't, and, you know, Cam Newton is the 1%, but Nick Marshall was here. He was not necessarily a real quarterback. He was translated from the other side of the ball. I just wonder sometimes if this offense, for it to click on all cylinders, if it needs a quarterback, that is a threat with his legs and its arm.
Carlson on. Splits the uprights, and Auburn now leads 15-0 as we near the end of the first quarter. So Auburn with a big defensive play, an interception return for a touchdown. They've got a blocked punt for a safety, but the offense has not really clicked today. There have been some nice plays between the 20s, but they bogged down a couple of times in the red zone.
Yeah, moving the ball, like you said, in between the 20s, then you get down in the red zone and you bring in Malik Willis, backup quarterback there for one play. Pull the guard, pull the tackle right there. It's tough when you get down here in the red zone. I understand coaches want to run the ball because you get in the red zone in the windows, it gets tighter, it's harder to throw the ball. But even a team like Liberty, who doesn't have the strength, they don't have the size, they don't have the speed, football's a numbers game. So Liberty just adds one more guy extra in the box. It's one free guy, one free hitter. It's hard when you get down in the red zone. I think you got to be a little bit more balanced, contemplate maybe spreading out, doing some rollout, balancing up with a couple throws in the red zone.
Scoring drive for Auburn, 11 plays, 77 yards, took 4 minutes, 5 seconds, capped off by a 20-yard field goal from Anders Carlson. Fourth kickoff today, this one short of the end zone. First time he's not had a touchback today, but all going to be at the 16 to start this drive for Liberty. Turned it over on downs. Their first drive, touchdown goes the other way after the interception on their second opportunity. Give up a safety and then punt. Not the offensive start that Liberty was looking for.
Now you wonder here too, feeling a little desperate, down 15. First quarter's about to end. Is there a trick play coming? You probably don't think that you can move the ball 12, 13 plays consecutively, try to get a gash play, cut the field in half.
And off, not a whole lot there for Frankie Hickson, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Auburn hangs 15 on the board. Gus Malzahn, he was happy after the defensive touchdown. Second quarter coming up.
Hosting a game day party isn't for the weak of heart. You gotta be tough. And you gotta be a little cute.
Maytag, what's inside matters.
Football's been a big part of my life. My grandfather was a famous coach. Dependability and honesty, those are things that carry over very strongly between the military and football. And that's one reason why I love USA so much, because they've been 100% dependable.
Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium, Liberty and Auburn as we begin the start of the second quarter. 2nd and 9 coming up. Calvert, who has missed on his last 6 pass attempts, lets this one fly, throws it away. That's 7 incompletions in a row after a 5 of 6 start through the air.
Now, Liberty comes in averaging 35 points per game. Quarterback Stephen Buckshot Calvert. Probably the best name. Technically, that's his middle name, right?
Yeah.
Mommy, daddy, a little war going on there. If that wanted to be his first name or last name, mom got his way.
Buckshot Jones was Calvert's dad's favorite NASCAR driver. Wanted to name his son after the driver. Dad wanted it to be the first name.
Did we ever ask Stephen what he wanted?
Well, probably not. Compromise was middle name, and Buckshot is what has stuck. Here, another third down. Buckshot lets it fly and has it batted away. Derek Brown in the middle of that defensive line got his paws on it.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage, because Jarvis Davis, number 13, had come off his guy. Eyes in the backfield, which he's supposed to do in that certain coverage. And the slot route, which was running a 10-yard out route, Jordan Davis had just come off, and it was going to be a pick 6. So Calvert, thankful, lucky there that ball got tipped.
Aiden Alvis will punt it away. Ryan Davis has to retreat. That ball bounces out. That was struck well by Alvis. He's fired up. 53-yard punt with no return. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com.
Talking to Chip Lindsey, offensive coordinator for Auburn this week. We talked about explosive plays, and their idea, him and Gus's idea, is 8 to 9 shots a game. We haven't seen one yet. I wonder here on first down, because you haven't really been able to move the ball between the 20s, but take a shot maybe.
A reverse. And it'll go out to the 30-yard line. Solomon Ajayi on the tackle.
Richard, for me, when I think of Auburn football, I think of physical, running the football, 45 attempts a game we talked about earlier, but the Nick Marshall heydays, the fly sweeps, the orbit motions, the play action, quarterback, the long bombs down the field, we really haven't seen much of that.
Cam Martin bounces it to the outside across the 40 and out of bounds at the 43.
Most teams in the SEC really need 3 running backs that they can depend on. So if Cam Martin can start to evolve and become a complementary back, 272 yards this year, but with Jatarvius and Sean Shivers, that's a good backfield.
Stidham swings it out. It's another catch for Ryan Davis. And a first down throw. Malik Matthews ran Davis out of bounds after a gain of 14. Cam Martin drew the start in the backfield today for Auburn, and he's got 5 carries for 49 yards. There's another carry for Martin as he picks his way across the 40. Auburn is going to take a timeout. 13:07 to play. We'll take one as well. Auburn leading at 15-0 over Liberty.
With Hulu, tailgating's never been better. Unlike the early days when all you had was a radio. But through the years, the experience got better and better. And now, Hulu's completely changed the game. Because you don't have to choose between tailgating or watching football live on ESPN. You can do both, no cable required. Hulu makes it so easy, the game will never be the same.
At T-Mobile, we believe in going big for the holidays. Get unlimited with a new Samsung Galaxy S9 included for just $40 a month. Seriously? No! It doesn't get much better than this. Get unlimited with a new Samsung Galaxy S9 included for just $40 a month.
All right, Peter, thanks a lot. Tennessee trying to win back-to-back at home after a big win against Kentucky last week. Missouri looking for win number 7. And almost with Missouri kind of one of those what might could have been seasons. It's been a good year regardless, but you have the game at South Carolina in the driving rainstorm. You have the game at Kentucky where they win on an untimed down. And off straight ahead. to the 30. Cam Martin brought down by Malik Matthews.
Cam Martin again on this power kind of tray action play where they wrap around the guard. Mike Horton and Jack Driscoll at right tackle. Hurry up, get back, and sometimes they'll just rewind this, which means run the same play again.
Cam Martin bounces it to the outside. He gets to the 10, tries to stutter step.
The turf monster.
And brought himself down.
There's that explosive play that would have been. Explosive meaning 12 yards or more is how Auburn looks at it. And I remember that happening to me one time.
20-yard gain. Here's Cam Martin again. Down close to the 5-yard line. Nine carries, 86 yards for Cam Martin. Second time today that Auburn has been in the red zone. Kicked a field goal the first time. Second and goal from the 6.
I think what you're trying to do here, Auburn's trying to do, is spread out, maximize your splits, and get a minimum box to run the football.
Cam Martin powers his way toward the goal line. He's brought down just short. Third and goal coming up.
And this is where you love to see a Gus Malzahn offense. Get set, run the ball, run the same play again.
Martin he reached out across. He's marked down short, though.
I thought he got that across, reaching it. You can see Gus bringing in his short yardage package here. Changing out his receivers. Chandler Cox coming in at tight end. I thought he got in.
The reaction from the Auburn fans is in watching a replay on the video board in the stadium.
Gus is going to take a timeout. He thinks he got in too. The thing to me is, Richard, is there going to be enough evidence to overturn it? Because we see this happen all the time, and enough. If it is not 100% clear, if there's any gray area, they're going to keep the call on the field as stands.
And you're watching that left knee. He reaches out with the left arm, clearly gets the ball across the goal line. The question is, did he do that before his knee was down? You can't tell anything from that elbow or from that angle.
Indisputable evidence is the term that they use. So no gray area.
As it stands right now, Auburn has yet to convert a third down in this game.
You can see here, I want to circle his knee, and where's the ball? It's hard to tell there. It sure looks like the ball has crossed the plane of the goal line, meaning it would be a touchdown. But again, folks, it only matters the call on the field if there's enough video evidence to overturn it. If he called it a touchdown, it would remain a touchdown, I bet.
So not a challenge from Gus Malzahn. Just took the timeout for them to take a little bit more time to look at it. That's why you did not get an explanation from our referee, Jason Autry. Obviously, the folks in the replay booth and in the SEC's control center looked at it, thought they either got the call right or did not have enough evidence to turn it over. Fourth and goal coming. Stidham keeps it himself and will walk into the end zone. And Auburn leads at 21-0. Pounded up the middle, and that play action look where he pulls it and runs it in himself. Pretty easy.
Yeah, there's that zone read where you isolate that defensive end. This time for Liberty, it's number 54, Jawan Wells. Sometimes it's a little fool's gold, right? You don't think Jarrett Stidham's going to pull the ball. You don't think he's a threat to make a play, but 1 yard, 2 yards out. Good job having his eyes on the right guy. 6 points for Auburn.
Extra point good. It's now 22-0. Auburn pulling away from Liberty. 11:01 to go, second quarter. Tigers in control.
Running to another level. Running. I won't never settle. Running. I'ma go and get it. Running.
Are you a college football fan? Come check this out. Show me college football.
It's never been easier to watch ESPN3 games right here on Xfinity X1.
Introducing ESPN3 on Xfinity X1.
This is your college football playoff top 10 as we speak. Results on the far right side of your screen. Some games coming up tonight. Bama no trouble with the Citadel despite being 10-10 at the half. Look down at the bottom, number 10, Ohio State and Maryland. That may be your game of the day. 52-51, an overtime win for the Buckeyes. Maryland went for 2, did not get it.
Similar to what we saw last week between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy had an opportunity to knock off the Sooners and get a big dub. I like the call. You're already happy that you're in the game at that point. Go for 2. No one's expecting you to win. I like both calls for Mike Gundy and Maryland.
This one will be a touchback. You know, especially when you're talking about a road team, the interesting thing about that, Maryland was at home today. A lot of times it's the road team who will say, let's go for 2. We'll either win it or lose it right here. That was the case with Oklahoma State at Oklahoma last week. This week, though, Maryland at home says, yeah, one way or the other, let's take our shot.
Everything that's gone on at Maryland this year, I think obviously they were content just being in the situation, fight hard. You want to win that game. But I think they look at that and they say, we feel good about one play, 1 2-point play. Didn't work out, but I still don't disagree with the actual play call and going for it.
Here's a shot down the field, and this one is incomplete. Let's check in downstairs with Taylor Davis.
Something to keep an eye on, guys. Stephen Calvert told me this week an area he felt he needed to improve on was his footwork in the pocket. He said if he gets too far away from his frame, he is less accurate. He felt Auburn's defensive front might be a problem for him in that area.
Sure. Auburn defensive front has been good so far today, but here's a break into the open field. Big run for Frankie Hickson all the way into Auburn territory across the 45.
Well, there's that gash Liberty needed. It's been kind of stagnant offensively. You see the double team right there, guard, tackle, tight end wrapping around, and then every good offense needs a running back that can make a guy miss. There's an explosive play. You get the ball over the 50. Kind of take a deep breath now. Feel like, wow, all right. Try to get some points out of this.
30-yard run there for Frankie Hickson. They give it to him again, and not much on first down.
You know, it's tough because Kevin Steele and this defense, they're not being complex. They're doing the same thing over and over. They're loading the box, 7 guys in the box. They're playing press man on the outside, and we've seen Liberty can't win as of yet from what we've seen versus press man. So Auburn's saying, you're going to beat us running the football, or you're going to beat us outside one-on-one. We feel like we have the advantage at both of those.
Calvert steps up, lets it fly, trying to get it down to Gandy Golden, but off the mark. Look, maybe feeling the pressure. Is that the footwork that Taylor was talking about?
Well, there was a double move out there on the outside, and Gandy Golden got him to bite. That was Jamel Dean on the outside, and he was open. And Calvert just kind of overthrew him. I think he feels pressure here, has to step up and lets it go a little early, but this Auburn front is a game plan record for everybody and every quarterback. If you look at the numbers for Calvert, he's a 55% completion quarterback. So, yeah, I would say you got to stay balanced. You got to have your feet up underneath you. So picks and completion percentage has been kind of his Achilles heel this year.
18 touchdown passes on the season for Buckshot Calvert. They were trying there to set up a screen. Auburn blew it up, and Calvert just threw it into the dirt.
I'm kind of surprised out of Liberty offensively. We've seen so much empty 5-man short edges. I don't like the 5-man protections going up against Auburn's defensive front because they're so dominant. Don't blame your left tackle when he gets beat by a future NFL player, Marlon Davidson or Derek Brown. You know, I mean, some bootlegs I think would help this quarterback get some cheap, easy yards, get to a rhythm.
So I think it was the first play of the game for Liberty. Kind of move the pocket, try to get him outside, get a little bit of space. punt coming, and it's going to be fair caught at the 14. Auburn about to begin its 5th offensive possession. Field goal, punt, field goal, touchdown. We've also got a safety and a defensive touchdown that is mixed in. Kind of get something going those last couple of offensive drives.
Yeah, they have. And I always wonder, based on my experience, I know what it's like. You're playing a team that you should beat, and you're trying not to show all your cards for next week, right? But you kind of are who you are at this point in the season, and that's what we asked Coach Malzahn. You going to hold anything? You going to reserve anything? You know, you just wonder sometimes if they're being too basic leading up to Alabama and not trying to show too much.
This time it's Whitlow, gets to the outside, and he's knocked down at the 21. Elijah Benton on the tackle after a gain of 7. Aaron Stidham, 71 yards, got the touchdown run. That was his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Thought he played really well last week against Georgia. You know, this box score, the numbers may not show that. Had a high completion percentage, completed a lot of balls.
To the outside, Whitlow with room to run. Flag comes in. Whitlow's knocked down at the 21-yard line, but let's hold and find out on the flag.
That's always a holding call. Question was, who was in the area?
During the run, holding, offense number 18. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Seth Williams, a wide receiver, on the outside.
You know that stings for this Auburn offense. Rush play of 12 yards or more. They only had 2 last week against Georgia. You can see, again, number 18 right there, receiver. Yeah, that last yank right there it's unnecessary. You know, and that's what frustrates you, is because those plays have been a dime a dozen this year for this Auburn offense, and you know the ball has got outside the perimeter. You got to have some awareness there, and that guy's not going to make the play.
So instead of 1st and 10 at Liberty's 21, it's 2nd and 2 from your own 22. Cam Martin carries it across the 25 to pick up a 1st down. You mentioned Stidham's game a week ago against Georgia, 24-36, but for only 163 yards. How concerning just 4.5 yards per pass attempt?
Yeah, I think it's very concerning. I mean, again, 10 plays over 50 yards last year for this Auburn offense, and 50 yards is just kind of a number. That's rare. That's a big number. That's not necessarily the number you're shooting for. But 3rd downs hurt him last week. It hurt this offense. They were in this ball game. They were in that ball game, excuse me.
Stidham wants to let it fly. He's got a man down the field and overthrew Darius Slayton.
Those are the plays that it seems like this year for Auburn. He's looking off the safety, hold him in the middle of the field, and he's just throwing a go ball. And Slayton he beat him bad. Stidham, you can see, takes a hit right here in the jaw. But that's a ball that, you know, you don't really blame it on the quarterback. You don't blame it on the receiver. There's just been so many times this year. It's just a couple yards that they've been able to connect on.
3rd down play will move the chains. Elijah Benton on the tackle, but not before Cam Martin gives Auburn a new set of downs.
You know what you got to do there as a quarterback, and it's definitely easier said than done, but you know you got pressure, right? The guy's about to come hit you. Receiver may not be out of his break yet. You got to let it go with a little bit more air, knowing I'm letting it go early. I think that's what Stidham would say he could do better on that last ball. Put a little bit more touch on it.
Cam Martin's been a workhorse today for Auburn. 14 carries, 109 yards. He'll take a break here as Whitlow comes back in. Stidham this time able to hook up with Seth Williams.
The completion to number 18, Seth Williams.
Seth Williams has 4 touchdown catches this year. 2 of them came against Texas A&M.
First receiver since Tony Stephen of 2016 to get multiple touchdown catches in one game. And, you know, you lose Will Hastings at receiver, ACL. You lose Stove at ACL in spring ball. Both those guys go down. Those guys are big pieces of this offense that you've been missing this year. And I know Gus and Chip Lindsey surely missed those deep threats. You know, as explosive, I was going to say, Richard, as explosive as this offense wants to be, you know, when you miss a guy who can take the top off the coverage, you don't necessarily become one-dimensional, but play callers, that kind of gets in their head. You know, play callers, they realize who their deep threat receiver is, intermediate, quick game, know what guys are good at what job, and those two guys have hurt the perimeter game of this offense.
Stidham extends the play and then throws it away. Third down coming up.
Third down.
Third and 3 coming here for Auburn. The Tigers 1 of 5 on third downs today. Ryan Davis that was coming in motion, the handoff down to the 35. That's going to be short. Ball comes out, but I think the play was blown dead. Whitlow on the carry was stopped a yard short of the first down.
And you see that play there, they bring, I think it was Ryan Davis in motion. We used to call this Y-yo-yo, and you see it in the NFL a lot where it's a glorified screen. And the receivers aren't down the field yet, so you can throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, but the running back comes in motion. If the linebacker in the box bumps out, you hand it off. That's what happened right there.
Auburn going for it on fourth down. Whitlow takes the snap, goes across the 35. He's got the first down and more. Pushed out of bounds at the 25.
When in doubt, give it to your big 220-pound running back. It's kind of Gus's go-to formation, the kind of the Wildcat jet sweep, fake it Schwartz. And then Whitlow again, making the play.
Stidham back in. Completes it near side to Anthony Schwartz. Jeremy Peters brought him down. Well, Schwartz can really run. Schwartz, the freshman from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Former state champ.
10.07 100-meter man.
Whitlow lowers his head into the line. Another third down coming up for Auburn, 3rd and 4.
You kind of get the feel that Auburn offensively could take some shots. I believe they've only taken one shot so far that we saw a couple plays ago, but it seems like there's this real commitment from Coach Malzahn and Chip Lindsey to run the football.
Movement up front.
Ball start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty.
That's the right guard, Mike Horton.
You know, and this offensive line has caught a lot of flack this year, right? Gus has said they're old in years, but young in terms of playing experience. Had a good game last week against Georgia, and they've gotten better every week. Early on, they haven't played very well, but they didn't give up sacks, didn't give up a penalty last week versus Georgia. Georgia does a good job on the front seven defensive side of the ball.
Malik Miller in for the first time today at running back on the right hip of Jarrett Stidham. Stidham looking to throw, and he's going to be brought down. First time today that Liberty's defensive front has been able to get to Stidham. Brandon Tillman, second sack of the year.
What he's telling Coach Gus is he was going through his progression. Watch his eyes, watch his feet. No. And he goes to throw the ball to Schwartz. Schwartz slips at the top of his route. That's what Gus is saying what happened. Stidham saying, I went to throw it, Coach, but he slipped.
48-yard field goal try here from Carlson. He's 2 for 2 on the day. We'll call it 49. Made a 53-yarder earlier, middle of the field. Carlson keeps that one inside the left upright. And Auburn now leads 25-0.
Coach, that wasn't a very pretty first half. how are you going to get back in the game?
Toilet.
Cool. Thank you for your time.
Bleep, bleep.
On a steamy Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Hot day, right? Mm-hmm. That's what a real fan looks like. We're bad fans.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
All right, thanks, PB. Kickoff coming up. Auburn in control, leading 25-0, but score's a little deceiving. 3 field goals and a safety off of a blocked punt in the ball game. Not sure that Auburn has finished off drives maybe the way that Gus Malzahn would have liked to have seen today. Carlson has had a busy first half. This one short. Fair catch called for. It's taken at the 4. College basketball is back on the SEC Network tomorrow night, 6 Eastern. VMI at Rupp Arena to take on number 11 Kentucky. You can always watch these games on the ESPN app. So the Keydats and the Cats coming up tomorrow night. Calvert back out on the field. Buckshot Calvert today, 5 of 17 for 27 yards. That's after starting the game 5 of 6. Just not much there, Hudson, when you're trying to run into the teeth of that Auburn defense.
Yeah, and they're good, against everybody. Georgia rushed for over 300 yards last week, but this defense, and especially this front four from Auburn, was very, very stiff, and they cause a lot of. They disrupt your game plan, but you knew coming in for Liberty, they're going to have to prevent leakage up front, and they played well versus Virginia, but a bigger challenge here today versus this front four.
Auburn defense pitching a shutout so far in this game. They're 14th in the country, giving up only 18.3 as Deshaun Davis makes the tackle. He was a preseason All-SEC player, came in to today's game. Deshaun Davis did with 245 career tackles.
You can see Auburn getting their nickel package in, meaning 5 DBs. Get your pass rushers in here on 3rd and 7. This is a world Liberty has lived in quite often today.
Third and 7. Complete across the middle. Out to the 40. That's a first down. Deshaun Davis ends up with the tackle.
That's the best decision today for Calvert. They play trap 2. They show blitz up the middle, trying to disguise you. They bail. Check down's over right over the middle. Take the guy. It's not sexy. Catch the ball, get north. You end up picking up 7 or 8.
I think that was Chris Barrett, a tight end. Now Calvert lets it fly, and this one's incomplete. Trying to hook up with Caleb Coleman down the right sideline.
You know, sometimes as a quarterback in these games, you're coming into a big environment, little intimidating with the other guys on the other side of the ball. And I think Calvert, best play again, that last play, that kind of check down on 3rd down. If your offensive coordinator calling plays Turner Gill, give him those options. Multiple places to go with the ball.
Minute 26 until halftime. Auburn trying to keep that 0 on the board. And down goes Calvert, lost the ball. It's recovered by Auburn. Are you going to say that Calvert was down, or is it indeed a turnover? Yes, it's Auburn football. Liberty, it's like they weren't sure whether or not it was going to be ruled a fumble or not. Second turnover of the half. Auburn leading it 25-0. Liberty turns it over. Little razzle-dazzle for Auburn. Schwartz can fly, gets to the outside, and he is out of bounds at the 22 for a first down.
Looks like we got a flag over there by about the 33-yard line.
Sideline warning, Liberty. It's their first warning of the game. The result of the play is a first down for Auburn.
70 seconds left in this first half. Auburn would love to add a touchdown. Turner Gill's team had some bright spots, but they've not been consistent in this first half, especially with the offense. Stidham lets it fly. He's got a man. There's a touchdown. Sal Cannella, third touchdown catch of the season. Cannella had a catch for a touchdown in the opener against Washington. He caught a touchdown from Ryan Davis against Texas A&M. Got to get that guy in the end zone more often with hair like that. 2 plays, 33 yards, 16 seconds, and a touchdown for Auburn.
Max protect, give your quarterback time to throw the corner out to Sal Cannella. Great throw, keeping the wide receiver on the run.
First we huff,
then we puff, then we blow the house down.
Now we're officially post-gaming with Velveeta shells and cheese.
So creamy.
So cheesy.
So good.
For Velveeta shells and cheese,
And the win.
satisfy your post-game craving with Velveeta shells and cheese.
Hi, Ron. Courtney Taylor here. I would like to be one of the first to congratulate you on breaking my all-time reception record. I've heard nothing but great things about you, how hard-working you are, how such a humble man you are. And to pass the torch to another great Auburn man is truly an honor for me. So to you and the entire Auburn football team, War Eagle.
153 catches in Courtney Taylor's career. Ryan Davis needed 2 last week at Georgia to surpass Courtney Taylor. He got the 2 in like 2 minutes.
2 plays.
And then ripped off 13 catches. Let's check in with Taylor.
Yeah, guys, I spoke with Ryan Davis about that accomplishment this week. He said it means so much to him. He said, there have been some amazing receivers come through here before me, so to be in the record books alongside of them is something that myself and my family can always be proud of. And keep in mind, guys, Ryan played quarterback in high school. He said it was a challenge to transition to wide receiver, and now he's setting records.
He didn't just play quarterback, he was a good quarterback in high school. 6,760 passing yards in St. Petersburg, Florida. That is the most passing yards ever by a football player in Pinellas County. Now, you're talking about the St. Petersburg area. There are currently 10 players in the NFL from Pinellas County.
Talent rich from that area, isn't it?
Coming up at the half, you can watch the live performance of the Auburn University Marching Band on the SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app.
I think it's pretty cool. Your high school career, you set records as a quarterback, then you translate it to college, different position, you set more records.
What does that mean? You're a good athlete?
It's got to be, man.
Not much on the second down play. Liberty seems content to allow this one to go to halftime. Sean Davis with another tackle.
You know, if Auburn hadn't scored on that last drive there, Richard, I would have said 100% guaranteed, because you've only scored 18 points on offense. And I say only, but I got a feeling Gus Malzahn is going to bring, at least for one more drive after the first half, these starters back on the field, at least offensively.
32-0, Auburn leading at the half. Gus Malzahn is going to check in with Taylor Davis as he makes his way off the field. Big defensive play. 3 field goals for Anders Carlson. And Auburn gets the offense going late in the second quarter as well. 15 carries, 112 yards for Cam Martin. Let's check in with Taylor.
Coach, a strong defensive showing. What impressed you on that side of the ball?
Our defense done a super job. Of course, it was big getting in the pick six right there early. We blocked the punt and gave us a little breathing room. Third downs on offense is really the only thing I'm not real pleased with.
You wanted to establish the run game. We saw Cam Martin get more carries today. What more do you want to see offensively?
Yeah, continue to run the football and come out and play good, clean football in the second half and put these guys away.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Halftime score 32-0. Let's send you to our SEC Network studios and Peter Burns.
Greetings, Internet. Asking for tech this year? Make sure you ask for Fios, too. Sorry, big guy.
This holiday, get a year of Amazon Prime and an Amazon Echo on us. Already have Prime? We'll cover another year. All that when you switch to Fios Gigabit Connection, the fastest internet available, plus TV and phone for just $79.99 per month with a 2-year price guarantee and a 2-year agreement. 100% fiber optic network, 100% phenomenal.
Are you ready for Xfinity X5? Super fast speeds, enhanced coverage, ultimate control. Take your Wi-Fi to the next level with X5. Simple, easy, awesome.
Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Come on, baby, let me thrill your soul. Come on, baby, let the good time roll.
From over 3,078 Ford dealerships around the United States, only a small number rise to claim Ford's most coveted and highest distinction, the President's Award. Operating at superior levels, achieving the highest volume sales, and delivering the best customer service. From approximately 325 dealers, there's only one that can claim this prestigious achievement for the Baltimore market. That elite dealer is Al Packer's White Marsh Ford, Baltimore's only 2017 President Award-winning dealer.
Before you ride, Price Packer.
Now, if you're a cancer survivor in the audience today, please stand so we can applaud your victory. You are an inspiration.
Home of the college football playoff.
$32-0, the halftime lead for Auburn over the Liberty Flames. We're getting set for the second half from Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. Aubie's got plenty to cheer about. Alongside former Georgia quarterback Hudson Mason, I'm Richard Cross. Hudson, at the outset tonight, we talked about the fact that Auburn wanted to come in and try to play a clean game. they accomplished that in the first half?
Yeah, I think they did for the most part. I mean, offensively, Cam Martin's got over 100 yards rushing. He got a pick six on defense, a goose egg at halftime, and then a block punt on special teams. The only downfall is you're 1 of 7 on third down, which has been a common theme for this Auburn offense all season long. So I think you're going to see some starters here for at least a drive, Auburn offensively, and then depending on how it goes, we'll see if some of the backups come in.
Auburn only 4 yards gained on third down in the first half, but Auburn 167 yards on the ground, led by Cam Martin's 112 in the first half. Balanced on the offensive side, and then the 2 turnovers for Liberty really hurt them.
Yeah, that's hurt them the most. I mean, in this game, Turner Gill talked about one thing defensively, one thing offensively. For defense, keep the ball in front of you. They've done a pretty good job of that. Give them the comebacks, give them the quick game, and then on offense, you can't turn the ball over. You can't give Auburn any more multiple possessions than what they're going to get.
Kickoff, low squibber. And Auburn will have it at the 35 to start this second half. 13 yards on the return that time. The upbacks, Spencer Nye, backup fullback for Auburn there on the kick return team. So Stenham comes back into the game to start the second half. 10 of 15 for 117 yards, the touchdown, no picks. How much do you think this first group for Auburn will go, or how deep do you think Gus Malzahn will take them in the second half?
Well, if they come down and score here, and it's all about optics. If they look good, convert a couple third downs, this might be their last drive.
Cam Martin looked good in the first half, gets a couple of yards on his first carry of the second. First ever meeting between Auburn and Liberty. Senior night at Jordan-Hare Stadium. 16 Auburn seniors playing their final home game. What a throw and catch there. Seth Williams on the reception.
Seeing a little bit more out of Seth Williams, which is nice with his emergence. Nice rollout, non-dominant throw for Jarrett Stidham. Get his shoulders around. It's a good, accurate throw. He's been efficient so far tonight, and he was efficient last week against Georgia. 66% completion. The problem has been, and you sound like a broken robot, third downs. Can't stay on the field with their third down efficiency right now.
So first down here, Cam Martin trying to bounce it to the outside. That was defended well by Liberty. We'll bring up second down and long.
You talk about who you're going to get next week, right? In Alabama, Iron Bowl, and how good they're playing. And you need depth. That is the biggest. That's the secret recipe against Alabama in all the positions, but especially talk about Seth Williams at the wide receiver position. It's been pretty Ryan Davis dominant, a little bit of Darius Slayton sprinkled in there, but nice to see 18 get some catches and get involved.
Stidham wants to fire deep. He's got a man. He's got a touchdown.
There it is.
What a throw. And what a catch. Stidham to Williams, 45 yards.
Jarrett Stidham hanging in the pocket all day to throw it. Double clutches, but the accuracy of the throw keeps Seth Williams on his track. I know that's going to feel good.
First, we huff.
Then we puff. Then we blow the house down.
Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. Everybody want a new thing. Pick it if you like it, everybody want a new thing.
It took Auburn just a minute 38 to start the second half to put another touchdown on the board. 4 plays, 65 yards, highlighted by a 45-yard pitch and catch. Jarrett Stidham to Seth Williams. Williams with his 5th touchdown catch of the season. Let's step aside for this from Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Everyone looks good in camo. You should see my husband in camo. I'll take it.
Auburn leading 39-0 over the Liberty Flames. Liberty transitioning from the FCS level to FBS, playing as an independent this year. They could have been bowl eligible this season, but they had to have the right number of qualifying wins. 2 games remaining after today. That ball goes on the ground, and Hickson's able to cover it up.
Scrappy season for the Flames. They're at 4-5 right now. They've had a good season to some standards. You beat Troy, which people in this part of the country, they know how good Troy is. Neil Brown has those guys playing, and Old Dominion, a D1 AA powerhouse. So they've got 2 games remaining on the schedule. Still a shot to get to a bowl game, but that transitional year to FBS, it's been a little bit of a challenge for the Flames this year.
Well, to be bowl eligible, Liberty was going to have to win against Auburn today and next week against New Mexico State. Their game against Norfolk State on December 1st would count as its 2nd FCS win. Third down coming up here, 3rd and 11. Buckshot Calvert started the game 5 of 6. 1 for his last 14 for just 39 yards. The Auburn front 7 has been tough on Calvert today.
Yeah, it's the front 7. It's the press they're getting at the receiver position. When you can't hold up long and your receivers can't get away from press man, that's a tough challenge.
Calvert goes down. There's a sack. Marlon Davidson. The junior from Greenville, Alabama, you said earlier, that's a future NFL guy.
Yeah, he's had some durability issues, knee, elbow last year, but between him, Dontavius Russell, Garrett Brown, they'll get Nick Coe back next week for Alabama, but you know that front 4 is disruptive, and you can see right there, it's hard to expect a lot out of your tackles when you put him one-on-one with a guy who's going to be playing Sunday NFL football for a long time.
Ryan Davis across midfield. He's run out of bounds at the 41, and a flag comes in as well.
So it'll be interesting to see here if Jarrett Stidham comes back out or if they go to their backup quarterback, Malik Willis. Looks like they're going to bring Stidham back out. Gus loves running up the points, doesn't he? Give him as many points as you can. I think all coaches love the points. In this day, it used to be about winning and losing, and you know every coach wants to become a head coach, and that's what matters. But
there's no foul for a horse collar tackle. The result of play is first down Auburn.
Now it's a lot about statistics in college football.
We got Jersey maybe, but had
already out of bounds.
Arm already. So Liberty catches a break. It's Auburn ball to 41. Shivers gets to the outside and then doesn't have much room when he tries to turn it up the field.
This Liberty defense has done a good job except for the last long explosive play touchdown pass to South Williams of keeping everything in front of them. You know, their idea coming in today was just don't get beat deep. Give them the comebacks, give them the quick game, make them work the long field, and unfortunately Auburn is just bigger, faster, stronger than most of their players.
Schwartz down at the 25.
Fast is fast right there with number 5 Schwartz. You mentioned it. World-class track speed. And I think what's going to be intriguing to watch his development is, man, this guy can run straight line fast, but playing that receiver position, if he can can maneuver and learn how to run routes and get in and out of breaks and use that quickness, that's what will take that game to the next level.
Stidham taking another shot, and this one's knocked away. That was defended well by Jeremy Peters on the outside.
See, tight man coverage, Jeremy Peters. Good job playing through the ball. Most DBs will look back right there. You got to play the receiver's hands. When he puts his hands up, you strip at his hands.
Ball hit him in the back of the helmet.
It counts, doesn't it?
It absolutely counts.
PBU.
Schwartz in motion. Miller on the carry. That's Malik Miller.
I think if you look at all the really good run offenses in the country, Georgia is really good at this. They have secondary, and I mean secondary by receivers in the secondary run participation. I don't care if it's college football, high school football, pro football. The teams that run the ball the best, the receivers put their nose in there on crackback blocks. They put their nose in there when they read force. And right there, Sal Cannella, who's made some plays in the passing game, also making some plays for his running backs in the run game.
We'll take a timeout with the timeout on the field.
Hey, Dad, can we give Lisa a ride home?
Sure.
Thanks for the ride.
The new Porsche Cayenne. There's nothing like the feeling when you sports car together.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here, Marty? I'm surprised you need anything else.
It's just a few essentials. Come on, brother. We haven't even gotten to the shoes yet.
Marty Smith, your third card is ready at the front.
Time for us to dig into Auburn's pick six, brought to you by Coyote.
Yeah, it's the play of the game. Darrell Williams, number 49 right there. Reads, play action, reacts, catches the fastball from Calvert. That's an impressive catch for a linebacker. And then what's better than a pick six? Or what's better than a pick is a house call for a pick six.
Auburn's defense has been good today. Pitching the shutout, 39-0. But right now it's the Auburn offense on the field as Jarrett Stidham walks into that huddle. They'll break quickly. Stidham's got some room, trying to get to the outside, and he's pulled down from behind. That's a big third down stop for Liberty. We'll see if Auburn chooses to kick the field goal, if they will go for it on fourth down. Jai on the tackle for Liberty.
It makes Auburn 1 of 8 today on third down, and it was really a coverage shack from Liberty. They do the muddle huddle to confuse the defense. They don't know where guys are going to line up. They bring Schwartz in the fly motion. It's a lot of eye candy, right? That's why they do the muddle huddle, so you don't have time to adjust and get your calls out. But it was a true coverage shack. Good job there by the quarterback stepping up, not turning a bad play into a catastrophe.
Different kicker this time for Auburn. And it is no good. Ian Shannon with his first opportunity hooked it left. Let's go to the studio and check in with Dari. Wow. Missouri running away with it on Rocky Top.
Yeah, and I thought Tennessee, obviously big win against Kentucky, number 11 ranked Kentucky. I honestly thought, obviously you got Kirby Smart at Georgia, who probably win Coach of the Year in the East or the conference, maybe besides Nick Saban, but Jeremy Pruitt after that big win against Auburn and then Kentucky had these guys playing pretty well.
How about Derek Dooley back calling plays in Neyland Stadium, former Tennessee head coach?
Is he going to be smoking some cigars afterwards like Butch Jones? Did he get some victory cigars?
How about that salty little Monday Night Football matchup coming up for you with Chiefs and Rams playing it in Los Angeles. There's just not much there for Peyton Pickett. Williams leading the way in the middle of that defensive line.
Yeah, you're starting to see some of these subs. Now in third down, they're going to bring some of their better pass rushers in here on 3rd and 8. But Tyrone Truesdale, number 94 out of Augusta, Georgia. Some of these backups getting some reps. Give them some playing time.
Liberty 3 of 9 on 3rd down today. Either team's been very good on 3rd down.
This has been a bad night for Liberty offensively. They get press man, they can't get off the jam.
Palmer wants to throw, and it's batted away.
How many slant routes have we seen on 3rd and long?
Noah Igbenogany in coverage there. Well, and you know that Antonio Gandy Golden, with a big stage playing on the road in an SEC stadium, was looking for a big night. It's closing in on 1,000 yards receiving for the year. A Biletnikoff Award watch list candidate. Had a couple of 200-yard receiving games this year. But he has been held in check by Auburn's secondary.
That 118 yards will have to come at another time, won't it?
Ryan Davis gets it back near midfield. 39-0. Auburn with the lead.
Buy Xbox One, get Battlefield 5.
Get DirecTV and catch college football games anywhere with the DirecTV app. More for your thing. That's our thing. Visit DirecTV.com.
We had some very sad news to pass along yesterday. In fact, yesterday on our show may have been one of the most difficult we've ever had. Tammy Bullard was killed with her 3-year-old granddaughter in a horrific crash on Highway 280 right outside of Birmingham. And having done this show for as long as I have, I don't know if I've ever met a more passionate fan. She was an Auburn fan, but she was a fan of college football, and everyone here and everyone on our network will miss her dearly.
Obviously difficult news there. Someone from the state of Alabama. She was a huge Auburn fan, and certainly anytime you've spent with the Feinbaum show, you know it's all about the callers, and Tammy was a near daily caller.
Everybody exactly what you said, everybody who listens to Paul Feinbaum Radio Network knows about Tammy. Anybody that follows Auburn football knows that Tammy loved her Auburn University and Auburn football, and that's a tragedy, man. That hurts.
Certainly our thoughts and well wishes and prayers go to the Bullard family. Inside 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Here's Shivers. A little bit of space, gets across the 40. Sean Shivers, a freshman from Fort Lauderdale. Had 117 yards rushing in the second half against Alabama State earlier this year.
It's probably one of the positions that Coach Malzahn mentioned to us this. You know, you lose Kerryon Johnson to the pros of the Lions, and you see the impact he's had with the Lions. They haven't had a rush offense, and it feels like 5 or 6 years. Lose a couple offensive linemen, but man, if they can get a good 3-man backfield between Cam and Sean and Jartavius, the future is bright in the backfield for Auburn.
Anthony Schwartz dances his way to the 30. Benjamin Alexander on the tackle, the sophomore from Spring Mills, Pennsylvania. 9-yard gain. Shivers back in at running back. Shivers out at the 25. Auburn closing in on 400 yards of total offense. 6 times this year, Liberty has given up 500 or more yards.
It's tough. When you're an inside linebacker going up against this system that Coach Malzahn runs, you see the speed sweeps. It's a lot of eye candy, man. You got to have so much discipline in there. A good yardage, a good gain on second down, guard tackle pull. You're trying to get those middle linebackers to hesitate for a split second.
Late handoff. Shivers bounces it to the outside. He's to the 10. He's into the end zone. Third touchdown of the season for Sean Shivers. And Auburn now has 45 on the board. 25-yard touchdown run. Five plays, 51 yards, 2 minutes, 34 seconds. And the extra point is good for Ian Shannon. A lot to smile about on those Auburn sidelines right now. Shivers with his 3rd TD of the year.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now it needs something more. A hero.
Oh, no.
Your brother is about to declare war. We must stop him.
Sounds like fun. Let's do it. I'm nobody, but I came to save my home and the people that I love. Miss Juicy.
Aquaman, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX December 21st.
This season, cricket's taking festive and turning it up to 4.
4 lines of unlimited data for $100 a month.
See more at cricketwireless.com/holiday.
You can watch the middle linebacker right here, Ajayi. If you keep your eyes on him, when Jared Stidham decides to roll out, looks like sprint action, right? He thinks Jared Stidham's throwing the hitch route outside, and it's Shivers that takes it from the house from there. That's that sprint draw action that looks so much, and it kind of complements their sprint action bootleg work that they've ran so much tonight. They had a touchdown pass earlier to Sal Cannella on it. That's tough for a middle linebacker when it looks like sprint out.
Wonder if that might be the last handoff of the night for Stidham. Coming up a little bit later tonight, SEC Network. It's a college football matchup between Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. The SEC Saturday night game, and also on the SEC Network alternate channel, Chattanooga and South Carolina. Find the SEC Network alternate channel in your area. Go to secnetwork.com/channel. Plus, both games, as always, are streaming live on the ESPN app. Jordan-Hare Stadium has cooled off a little bit. Sundown, the Auburn offense, though, is heated up as this game has gotten a little bit deeper. And the defense continues to dominate at the line of scrimmage. And we talked with Kevin Steele yesterday, Dontavius Russell on the tackle there. And you want to talk about a guy who has seen some football. 10 different colleges where he's been an assistant coach, including here at Auburn, 9 in college, or excuse me, 1 NFL job as well, and also spent some time as the head coach at Baylor. 39 years in the coaching business.
I haven't been doing this long, but I can't imagine there's a better interviewee out there than Coach Kevin Steele.
Did he hold on? I think that was intercepted. Auburn turns Liberty over. Sitting back, playing center field, Smoke Monday with his first interception of the season. Smoke Monday, the freshman from Atlanta.
Fingertip catch. Ball come out. No, I think he held on to it.
Well, that was well done. I was trying to come out, but kind of hung on his elbow, and he was able to pull it back into his body.
Good job getting his arms under it, kind of trapping it. Can't see it from that angle, but the other one, I think it touched the ground at all. It's an awesome opportunity for some of these backups to get in and get some PT. And I love the new redshirt rule. Love the new redshirt rule, and I know the coaches love it too. Get some guys in, get some development. Smoke Monday right here. Hasn't got a lot of playing time this year because of Jeremiah Denson playing really well.
They are
looks like it's
another look.
I think that, what is that, his right elbow gets underneath it. It looks like it's about to pop out, but it's pretty clear that the ball didn't touch the ground.
Well, nice job of officiating there. You talk about the guys in the striped shirts. That is a difficult job, and sometimes it's a thankless job, and people are quick to point out when they miss them. That one was called an interception in real time on the field, and certainly looked like a good call.
Smoke wants that pick, doesn't he?
He absolutely does. Turner Gill watches on, the former Nebraska quarterback. Had a heck of a career. Turner Gill actually in 1983 finished fourth in the Heisman Trophy voting.
The ruling of an interception stands. 1st and 10, Auburn at the 45-yard line.
Smoke Monday excited about it. Auburn's offense, 41 rush attempts today. They had only 41 in the previous 2 games.
Averaging 7.4 yards on first down. That by far is the biggest difference that we've seen today and every other game that Auburn has played leading up to this.
So Stidham stays in the ball game, and that is Asa Martin with his first carry, the freshman from Cortland, Alabama. You've reached the point in the game where for Auburn you're going to see a bunch of guys that don't play a lot. That's probably it for Jarrett Stidham. Now as Malik Willis jogs onto the field.
It's kind of interesting playing one play, but I think it's senior night. I understand what Gus is doing. Although he does have one more year to come back. I know that decision is still up in the air for Jarrett, but interesting decision to play him for one play and then bring him over.
Play clock running down. Martin. Actually, it's Willis holding on to it, and he ends up losing yardage. That one goes the wrong direction.
I know a lot of people in this stadium, including these coaches, want to see more of Malik Willis. Early Virginia Tech commit. He was a receiver. Auburn flipped him out of Roswell, Georgia. If you watch him at practice, Chip Lindsey, Gus Malzahn, they all say, hey, the playbook's wide open. You know, this isn't a guy that can just make plays with his legs. He'll make plays with his arms, too. He's wearing number 14. Another former Auburn quarterback named Nick Marshall kind of reminds you of.
Low snap. This pass attempt snaps a string of 9 rushes in a row. It's complete. No, dropped.
Oh, calling a catch.
Say a catch inside the 10-yard line for Anthony Schwartz, 42 yards.
Hurry up and run a play. Oh, elbow hit the ground. Aren't you glad you don't get paid to make these decisions, man? Now, I know these refs would probably say I don't get paid enough, but
Jason Autry. So he's able to secure it, looks like. When he hits the ground, ball pops out. All to catch on the field. Feels like this is going to be incomplete, right?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference between the college and the pros is in the NFL, that's an incompletion, right? You got to catch the ball all the way through. In college, I believe it's elbow hits the ground. then it's a completion. Obviously, you saw Schwartz's elbow hit the ground there, but he didn't catch the ball. The continuation aspect of that didn't follow through all the way with the catch.
Yeah, to your point, NFL, that's open and shut. Here's
After further review, the ruling of the field is the pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9 from the 43-yard line. Police reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 35 seconds.
That was just the third pass attempt of the year for Malik Willis. Gus Malzahn wanting an explanation. Saw what he thought of it.
Elbow down.
Yeah, you almost feel bad for the referee in that scenario. It's like, look, the replay office made that call.
Yep.
Second 3 and out for Auburn. The return here for Liberty. DJ Farrow.
That's where we need one of those referees in the booth, man.
Punts it away. If you live in the state of Alabama, you count down all year long to this. It is next Saturday afternoon in Tuscaloosa. Alabama leads the all-time series. How about, though, at Bryant-Denny Stadium, Auburn actually leads 5-4 and a 7 to the last 10 when you compare these two numbers. You know Alabama's defense is good, but that offense this year averaging nearly 50 points per game, almost 540 yards per game.
I don't even put that up there, man. That's not fair. And it's not even Auburn. Whoever you fill in the blank, whoever Alabama's played this year, it would look like that.
Alabama pulled away this afternoon after being tied at the half at 10 with the Citadel. More on the Iron Bowl. Let's go downstairs to Taylor.
Yeah, guys, after speaking with several of the players and coaches around Auburn this week, the general consensus was they needed a strong win today to give them momentum to head into the Iron Bowl. This has been an up-and-down season for the Tigers. They've had some painful losses, and before this big rivalry game, they needed to come out and make a statement today.
I think they've done that. Thank you, Taylor. Shot Calvert. It's this one fly, but he one-hopped it in the general direction of DJ Stubbs. Defensively, certainly a good performance today by this Auburn team. And it feels like as the game has gone along, they've gotten better offensively.
Yeah, they have. I mean, look, you mentioned it defensively. It's been a good year for Auburn all year. Kevin Steele does a good job mixing up 3 and 4 down front. It's hard to predict. Only giving up the 18th best in the country in terms of points given up 31 sacks, 3 per game, which ranks 14th in the country. So I think the big thing that sticks out for this Auburn offense that you probably leave here today as a fan thinking is, we just got to find a way to fix our third down issues.
A total of 81 yards in the game for Liberty and another incompletion.
Because you go into Bryant-Denny next week, man, and you struggle on third down like they did last week in Athens, and even tonight, only one of 9 so far in third down. It could get ugly quick for the Crimson Tide. I mean, for Auburn against the Crimson Tide, but it's part of the reason why their snaps per game are down. They usually average around 80 on offense, only averaging about 66 so far. So,
Damian Bounds, the injured player for Liberty. This was Auburn this year. Started with a really big win against a top 10 team in Washington. They rolled against Alabama State. Tough loss to LSU, 22-21. They beat Arkansas and Southern Miss. Then consecutive losses at Mississippi State. It certainly is a good Mississippi State defense. And then they go to they lose to Knoxville here, lose to Tennessee here in Auburn. Kind of back and forth. The back-to-back wins against Ole Miss on the road, Texas A&M at home. That A&M game was one that they absolutely had to have. Yeah. Came from behind in the fourth quarter. But then they go to Georgia between the hedges last week and lose 27-10.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet of a schedule, but if you're going to have a shot every year to just be in a position to win the West when you play Alabama, You know, you can't lose many times. LSU is about as much of a leash as you have, and that win against A&M, that was by far the biggest win of this season so far for Auburn.
Auburn trailing in the fourth quarter of that ball game. Got an interception, and then Stidham went to work. He hooks up with Darius Slayton. Big plays in special teams. And then Seth Williams turns into the hero in that ball game after Christian Tutt with a big return. I know you're shocked to see Ryan Davis in the mix making plays. Seth Williams had 2 receiving touchdowns, including this game winner against Texas A&M. Auburn finished off the comeback, won 28-24 against Texas A&M. And Gus Malzahn yesterday, very candid with us. If you followed Auburn this year, you know that within this fan base, if things don't go exactly right, the expectations are high. They're championship-level expectations, and people will begin to grumble.
Gus doesn't shy away from expectations, and you can't when you're at Auburn. And you can't when you coach in the SEC. Now, you're sitting here, and you have an opportunity to get to a bowl game. You have an opportunity to get to 7, maybe 8 wins. Is that your goal, or was that your goal coming into the season? No. But I think what a lot of these seniors understand is, you know, we can finish on a high note and at least finish a respectable season. I think there's a difference between finishing, going to a decent bowl game, respecting the season and how it finished, and then kind of letting the carpet come out from underneath you. So
always scary when you see the air cast come out. Extended break here on the field. Auburn with a 46-0 lead. You see the Liberty players obviously concerned about their teammate. Let's check in with Dari Noka in the studio. Dari? right, Dari, thanks a lot. An air cast applied to the right leg of Damian Bounds. You heard the guys in the studio mention that both of his parents came down onto the field. Turner Gill, the head coach for Liberty, met Damian's mom at about the 40-yard line, put his arm around her, and kind of walked down to that area. He has been taken off the field on the stretcher. And really a gruesome injury. And Coach Chiswick mentioned it as well. Not just Liberty's team, but both teams spent that entire time out on one knee on the sidelines. Doesn't matter what color jersey you're wearing, you know all the hard work that goes into getting ready to play football.
Yeah, it's not easy. I thought the guys brought up a really good point. You know, something like that happens, especially if you're on the Liberty team. That's your brother. That's the guy you've been working with and going to battle with, and to see that nasty of an injury is deflating. It's discouraging, and then all of a sudden the game goes on, and you kind of got to regroup and rebound and put your hard hat on again.
Auburn leading 46-0, 2:37 to play here in the third quarter. Malik Willis back out again at quarterback, throws and completes out of the backfield. On the reception, that time for Auburn was Griffin King, senior wide receiver from Atlanta.
Awesome to see some of these guys who maybe some walk-ons, maybe some scholarship players that never got the opportunity to see the field, get in, get some shine. And then you got a young quarterback like Malik Willis, who, you know, Auburn fans, the future is up in the air with Jarrett Stidham, so possibly get a small sample size, small look here at what maybe be your quarterback next year.
Yeah, decision to make for Jarrett Stidham after this season ends, and talked with Chip Lindsey about that a little bit yesterday, whether or not Stidham will be back. And he said he didn't think that Jarrett was going to make a decision before the season came to an end. C.J. Tolbert on the carry.
Well, you put your paperwork in after the season, which I'm sure he will. The NFL will get back to him and give him a prognostication on, hey, 5th round, 6th round, 3rd round. And then hopefully, which I firmly believe he does, he has the right people in place to educate him and help him make the right decision.
Auburn has slowed things down, certainly from the tempo that they were using earlier in the ball game.
I always think, unless you're going to be a 1st or 2nd round pick, you come back.
And off to Tolbert again. Works his way along the sideline, inside the 20, and he's pushed out at about the 15. Isaac Steele gets credit for the tackle. Tolbert, the senior from Dadeville, Alabama. 17-yard gain. Auburn will run at least one more play here in the third quarter. This time Willis pulls it himself. He gets across the 5, cuts across the goal line. Malik Willis with a rushing touchdown, and Auburn adds to its lead. 16 yards on the carry for Willis. 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Malik Willis. And that's where Willis can really hurt you. Just has not thrown it very much this season. Very athletic.
One step, bam, he's gone, right? See the explosiveness for a quarterback that Gus loves to have. Auburn fans, get a look at what may be your next quarterback in Malik Willis. And you know, whether it's Cam Newton, Nick Marshall, Gus Malzahn can do a lot of special things with a quarterback who's a threat with his legs.
Auburn leading 53-0 over Liberty. Tigers on the way to their 7th win of the season. Bouncing back from a road loss last weekend in Athens, headed to T-Town next Saturday. Liberty has just had so much trouble offensively in this ball game. They've run 3 or fewer plays on 9 of their 12 offensive possessions. And Auburn has had a penchant for scoring quickly today. 4th touchdown drive of the game in which they have scored in 5 or fewer plays. This one will go out of bounds, and so Liberty will get much better starting field position. Ball will be placed at the 35. On Monday at 7 Eastern on the SEC Network, Thinking Out Loud is back for another season. Greg McElroy, Marcus Spears talk football and want your participation via social media throughout the show. Always available streaming live on the ESPN app. It's Thinking Out Loud Mondays at 7 Eastern. Shot Culver stays in the game for Liberty. Running play. Just across the 35. That will be the final play of the third quarter. Auburn in control on this Saturday night on the Plains, 53-0. Malik Willis, the big smile on his face.
Alexa, find dramas.
Wait, why are you speaking like that?
Alexa, scroll right.
You do know that Alexa understands normal voice?
I know, but when you want to watch dramas, you need to get into the mood.
No, you don't. That's not a real thing.
Alexa, play Ray Donovan.
There's a doctor at Sloan Kettering.
Does the doctor have a name?
Sharon Bergstein. She's a neurosurgeon.
You know you're a weird guy, right?
I know.
The biggest deals on the hottest technology gift of the season. You'll love the savings too. Now during Hyundai Holidays.
Now, get a new 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe with up to $1,500 cash back. Only during Hyundai Holidays.
There's a lot that's been written and has been talked about with regard to Gus Malzahn's future, partly because of the results against those 3 teams on the schedule, LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. Now, you got to remember that after beating number 2 Georgia and number 1 Alabama at the end of last season, Gus Malzahn signed a new 7-year, $49 million contract. That was less than 365 days ago. Liberty back out on the field offensively. They've got a second down to start this fourth quarter. 2nd and 7. Calvert lets it fly and got a catch. There's a catch on the sideline. Nice pitch and catch. On the reception that time, B.J. Farrow. Alan Green is the athletics director here at Auburn, and he came out and said he'll be the coach next year, and I'm confident. He's already proven we can get through adversity. Every team has it, and I'm looking forward to working with him for a long time. So the vote of confidence from Alan Green, the AD. There is a sack. Calvert pulled down from behind. Ball came out. It is recovered by Auburn. That is the 3rd turnover of the game for Liberty.
I don't know if it was a fumble recovery
or 4th turnover of the game.
4th. Almost looks like an old David Pollock play where he takes the ball right out of the quarterback's hands. A pick.
Is that going to count as an interception?
T.D. Moultrie getting in there and disrupting the play. You love it when these defensive linemen get their hands on the ball, man. That's Christmas morning for these guys. All they do is hang out in the trenches and get beat up and do dirty work.
So Moultrie causes the fumble for Auburn, and Gary Walker recovers the fumble.
T.D. Moultrie is an interesting story. You know, he moved to that DN outside linebacker position, kind of backs up Nick Coe, who's out this game, and he made that transition a couple years ago, but you know, if Nick Coe decides to, he's only a sophomore, so he can't go to the league next year, but some of these guys that will be interesting to see where they decide to slide in. TD, maybe another position, other side of the ball. He's a good player. Always want to get your best players on the field somehow, some way.
Malik Willis. Straight ahead, Auburn. Not doing anything real special right now offensively, but they continue to be productive. Just kind of wrapping up the Gus Malzahn conversation. It's a little crazy, but it's the world you live in right now. That's basically what Gus Malzahn said to us yesterday. He's like, fans have high expectations. I have high expectations. Our goal every year is to win the SEC. And he said this has been a disappointing season. He's not pleased with how the offense has gone. Feels like for the most part the defense has been pretty good, but he kind of lit up when he said a year from now offensively, we're going to be really, really good.
Yeah, I think Gus has always talked about the future, and you have the right to do that, but at some point in time when the rubber meets the rim, people want instant gratification, and you know, you got the big contract last year because you beat Georgia and you beat Alabama, and this job, when you beat Alabama, man, that can get you a contract like that. That's something, but it's a tough division. Look, the bottom line is, because this is a bottom line business, is you wonder if there's going to be a finger pointed at somebody this year, if there's going to be some type of staff change, because when you have a season like this and it is a bottom line business, somebody always kind of becomes the scapegoat.
And you say a season like this, Auburn on its way to the 7th win of the year. There are a lot of schools that are out there that would love to consistently be a 7-game winner, but it's a different standard here on the Plains. And again, you see what's happening in the SEC. And look, I mean, let's not pretend anything other than the name at the top of that list has a lot to do with what Auburn fans think about being 6-4 and 3-4 in the league.
The name at that top of the list has a lot to do with the turnover and the coaches being fired and expectations in this conference. And sometimes I wonder if there are other teams and people out there that can really duplicate what Alabama's doing.
Willis throws complete on the far side. That's 500 yards now of total offense for Auburn. Shedrick Johnson on the catch. For Johnson, that's just his 2nd catch of the year. Again, Auburn in a mode where they are letting the play clock run almost all the way down before every snap. Little sprint draw. Hard run inside for Asa Martin.
It's been good to see some of these all backup offensive linemen. Nick Brahms, who, Caleb Kim, that starter center, had started for 3 games, then he was a backup for the 4 games. It's kind of been musical chairs at the center position, but the one thing you see tonight, and it is because this offensive line is bigger, physical, stronger, but you see the push at the end of the runs, and those running backs are falling forward for another 1 or 2 yards. That's something you haven't really seen too much at Auburn's run game this year.
That second offensive line group in there for Auburn. Bailey Sharp over at left tackle. Tayshawn Manning. Nick Brahms is now at center. And Asa Martin carries it forward. He gets pushed back a little bit. Jayod Sanders made the tackle that time. Auburn has played 5 teams that are ranked in the AP Top 25 when they met this year. 4 of those have come on the road. go into that final week of rivalry games, Hudson, you were a part of that in the time that you were at Georgia. Obviously, the final game of the year every season was Georgia Tech. You've got the Iron Bowl. You got the Egg Bowl next weekend with Ole Miss and Mississippi State on Thanksgiving night. This is a fun time of the year. But the stakes are pretty high in these ball games. Yeah, they are. Look, you mentioned it with Coach Gus Malzahn. Some guys get hired and fired. They get extensions based on just these games they win. Yeah, the thing is, it's a combination. It's rivalries within the league, like here in the state of Alabama with Alabama and Auburn and with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But then you've got places like Georgia where it's SEC, ACC right. with Georgia, Georgia Tech. Right, and Florida, Florida State. Yeah. South Carolina, Clemson. The Georgia Tech game is going to be intriguing because Paul Johnson's got this offense that was very stagnant at the beginning of the season. They're clicking on all cylinders now. They beat Miami and rattled off 3 or 4 in a row. And as you saw today, it was a slow start for Alabama against Citadel. That offense is hard to prepare for in 1 week, man. I'm not kidding you. Auburn is 2 of 2 on 4th down, trying to make it 3 of 3, and that's going to be close. It's going to be a turnover on downs as Liberty comes up with a stop. We'll take a timeout. Auburn in control.
It's Kia's Light Up the Holidays sales event. For a limited time, get amazing deals. Hurry to your local Kia dealer today.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Last week we had, for the very first time in the college football playoff rankings, all 10 stay exactly the same. Could it be another week of that? Clemson and Duke coming up a little bit later tonight. Really no surprises. You get Michigan and Indiana in a close ball game. You would not anticipate LSU or Oklahoma having any trouble in their ball games tonight against Rice and Kansas, respectively. So what about Michigan? You looked at Michigan team, 1 loss on the season. Playing close today against Indiana. Yeah. Is close good enough this time of year? It depends on who you are. If it's Alabama, I think close is good enough. If you're anybody but Alabama, I think the committee looks at you differently. And maybe I think Alabama's made a case for the way that they beat teams. Back-to-back weeks, they've shut out opponents. So for Michigan, I thought Kirk Herbstreit said it well. It's going to be college football Armageddon if Georgia ends up knocking off Alabama. On the catch that time, Noah Frith, the freshman from Woodstock, Georgia. Just not really sure where you would go with Michigan as long as they win. You got Georgia behind them at number 5 in the playoff standings. Is a Georgia win against UMass, even if it's by 60, going to jump you over a Michigan team? No. That gets a conference win, even if it is a 1-score game. Yeah, for Georgia, the formula is pretty simple. Win today, beat Georgia Tech, beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, and you're in. Yeah. To me, the interesting part of the playoff, and you've really not had the chaos scenario that is potentially out there this year, is the top 5 win out between now and the championship games, and then Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship game. The question then becomes, does Alabama fall out of the top 4, or do they bump Michigan, who has been sitting at number 4, assuming that Michigan were to go on and win the Big Ten championship game? So I think you can look at that one of 2 ways, and it really doesn't matter what you, I, or anybody else out there thinks. It's matter what does the committee value? Do they value conference championships, which you're saying Michigan would win? Do they value optics? Do they value how you're playing this time of the season?
Michigan has the up on Alabama when it comes to strength of schedule. It's close, but I believe Michigan has the up on Alabama when it comes to the strength of schedule. But if you're asking me, and I'm a betting man, if Michigan and Alabama had to play, who's the better team, I'm taking Alabama.
Aiden Alvis to punt for Liberty on 4th and 1 with less than 6 minutes to play. That ball muffed and then covered by Tutt. We'll take a timeout.
The United States Postal Service makes more holiday deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, with one notable exception.
I just got my Ancestry DNA results. 74% Italian. And I found out that I'm from the big toe of that sexy Italian boot. So this holiday season, it's Ancestry DNA per tutti! Order your kit now at Ancestry.com.
Coming up tonight on the SEC Network, it is an SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt in Nashville. Also on the SEC Network alternate channel, Chattanooga and South Carolina. Kickoff for those games, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30. And as always, they are both streaming on the ESPN app.
Ole Miss, Vandy, two teams fighting, trying to scratch their claw their way to a playoff or postseason game, bowl game. Can't say playoff anymore because
well, Ole Miss would be kind of a symbolic win if they can get to 6 because they're not eligible for the postseason. TJ Talbert getting some carries tonight. Auburn has had a chance to play a bunch of guys in this ball game. Cam Martin had the big load early and had over 100 yards at halftime. Louis Whitlow's played. Sean Shivers has played. Seen C.J. Talbert, Asa Martin, all at the running back position. You've got a new quarterback in the game as well. That's Devin Adams. Adams, the senior from Mobile, getting an opportunity to play on senior night.
Not a lot of depth at the quarterback position on this Auburn team. I've said it several times, but we all don't know really what the future holds for Jarrett Stidham and then Devin Adams, who's going to graduate. We've got a couple young freshmen there, but you always try to have depth at that quarterback position, and there's a chance that two guys could be gone after this year. And look, we've heard a lot of speculation about Kelly Bryant. So a visit here a couple weeks ago and is supposed to make his decision in early December.
Kelly Bryant was in Starkville today watching Mississippi State and Arkansas, obviously transferring away from Clemson. He was in Fayetteville earlier this season to watch the Arkansas-Tulsa game.
Been to Missouri, back in high school again, getting recruited.
But Auburn on that list of schools that Kelly Bryant is going to choose from on December the 4th. Snap not handled there. Loss is back to the 37th. 37 brings up third down. Senior day on the Plains. Ryan Davis, who last week became the all-time leading catch guy at Auburn. More catches than anybody else. Let's check in with Taylor for more.
Yeah, guys, several of these seniors and veterans are no longer playing right now, but what they are doing is taking the opportunity to pull these younger guys aside here on the sideline, give them some tips, give them some advice. They really want to make sure this game is not for nothing, that these guys feel empowered next year to step up and be leaders.
Brent Jarl there. Ooh, big hit in the open field. C.J. Talbert on the carry. Ryan Davis certainly falls into that leadership category. The combination of Jarrett Stidham and Ryan Davis, 141 completions from Stidham to Davis, and that became the most prolific passing duo in Auburn history, passing Pat Sullivan to Terry Beasley. Those guys connected 140 times. Pat Sullivan, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
It'd be fun to watch Ryan Davis' career after college football. You know, he's a slot receiver, he's an outside receiver. I'm sure an NFL team will look at his special teams ability too and find him very valuable.
Pat Sullivan, one of 3 Heisman winners at Auburn, along with Bo Jackson in 1985, and of course Cam Newton in 2010. Inside 2 minutes to play. Auburn going to pick up its 7th win of the season. Trying to preserve a shutout. Trying to do that for the 2nd time this year.
I'll tell you something. These coaches love these goose eggs, man, and these players get rewarded. It's not just, hey, good job. You get a nice little steak dinner.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. These defensive coordinators, man, there's a little ego involved. You put a goose egg up on, it's like Alabama. I promise you, I don't know if it's ice cream, I don't know if it's steak, but you put a goose egg up, Kevin Steele, he's probably thinking right now, what am I going to have to give these guys?
It certainly won't be shorter practices this week.
No.
We'll take our final timeout.
Right
minute
there.
7 to play.
Heading west to where the sun sleeps. City fallout, let our lungs breathe. Can you hold me? I can't even speak. Oh my, here it goes. 'Cause this is already bigger. This is already bigger than love.
Dare to be devoted. Jared.
Alexa, dim the lights.
Okay.
Oh, no. Dad, I need your help.
What have you done?
Burnt the duck.
That's a duck? What do you have in that cabinet?
Some spaghetti.
Okay, chop up some garlic. Your mom cooked duck for me once.
Did she burn it?
Of course she did.
Of course she did.
Now it's beautiful. There you go.
How do I look?
Perfect.
Thanks, Dad.
What's his name?
Dad. Alexa, hang up.
A lot of smiles on the Auburn sideline tonight. Jarrett Stidham with a good game for Auburn. 12 of 18 passing tonight. A couple of touchdown passes. Liberty playing against an SEC team for the first time ever. Stidham threw for 178, couple of touchdowns in the ball game. Fair catch called for inside the 10. Take our final break. Be back to wrap it up from Jordan Hare after this.
I'm watching that.
Ew. Every Christmas is memorable. But a gift from Kay Jewelers makes it unforgettable. It's a memory she'll wear forever. Save 25 to 40% off everything December 13th through the 17th at Kay.
0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Introducing the Genesis G70.
One week from today, it is the Iron Bowl. Alabama leads the all-time series. Auburn leads, though, in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Crimson Tide 7 to last 10. But last year here on the Plains, it was a 26-14 win for Auburn. Alabama has won 92 of its last 100 football games. Whew. Think about that. God. The last 100 games.
Is that an Alabama guy handing you that sticky note?
I don't know who else would keep up with that. Last 100 games, Bama's won 92 of them. What's wrong with him? Liberty will run one, maybe two more plays. And we continue to be thoughtful of Damian Bounds, backup center on this Liberty team, who was taken off the field with an air cast on his right leg. That was late in the third quarter. Mom and Dad came down out of the stands, were able to go, we assume, to the hospital with him. He was carried off on a stretcher. And so for Damian Bounds and his family, we will be thinking about you and certainly wish you a speedy recovery. Auburn going to get the win to improve to 7-4 on the season and get set for the Alabama Crimson Tide next Saturday. 53-0, second shutout of the year for Alabama. They also for Auburn. They'd love to pull one off against Alabama next week. The first shutout came against Alabama State. Good balance in the offense tonight for Auburn. They ran it well. It was something that Gus Malzahn told us he wanted to do. Let's go downstairs to Taylor.
Coach, your defense held Liberty to a shutout, even got some points on the board. What can you say about their execution?
Well, they talked about shutting them out, and they did it. And that's a pretty good offense, too. And like you said, they scored the first touchdown, so our defense played outstanding.
Your offense struggled to convert third downs in the first half, but came out strong in the second. What made the difference?
Well, we did a good job running the football, and, like I said, I think we did a good job.
A strong showing here tonight. How can that propel you guys into this week as you prepare for Alabama?
Yeah, hey, it's Iron Bowl week. You don't need any motivation for that.
Well said.
Thank you.
All right, Taylor, thanks a lot. That's going to do it tonight from Auburn, where the Tigers win 53-0 over the Liberty Plains. College football continues tonight at 7:30 Eastern on the SEC Network alternate channel with Chattanooga and South Carolina. My partner Hudson Mason and Taylor Davis, I'm Richard Cross. Good night from the Plains. SEC Now is coming up next. Let's go to the studio.